Hello there. You're now with me, Sharsha Mato, for TVS English News at 5. Let's begin with the headlines. Errant or incompetent contractors working on infrastructure projects will no longer be tolerated. Premier Sarawak Dr. Patigi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunaping said the lack of commitment and poor performance were among the factors that led to the 212 critically delayed projects.
According to Abang Johari, all contractors undertaking projects under the state governments are reminded to be more serious and committed.
It is therefore imperative that contractors take cognizance with regards to their own capacity and capabilities when undertaking government projects. Contractors must ensure that measures and initiatives are taken to build up their firm resources, especially in terms of their financial and technical capabilities. As such, errant or incompetent contractors will no longer be tolerated.
He also added that the proposed Marudi Bridge over Batang Miri Division was among the 34 out of 212 critically delayed projects. The proposed project has been delayed for the past 3 years, aside from the upgrading of 5 roundabouts along Kuching-Semarahan Expressway, which has been delayed for 2 years, as well as Lembang Administration History Gallery project, which has been delayed for about a year.
Upgrading of 5 roundabouts along Kuching-Semarahan Expressway, the smart traffic light, delayed 2 years. I was there to present the contract, to witness contract. Proposed Marudi Bridge over Batang Miri Division, delayed 3 years.
He said this in his speech when launching the seminar on the new initiative to enhance Sarawak construction industry held at the Borneo Convention Centre Kuching BCCK on Wednesday. In addition, Abang Johari explained that the data gathered were from the State Development Coordination Committee meetings held in Bintulu and Kapit divisions. Also present at the event was Deputy Premier Dato Amar Douglas Ungambas and Deputy Minister for Infrastructure and Post-Development Aidil Lariwo.
7 new initiatives were introduced, which include advance payment for works contractors.
These are measures effected to minimize or even eradicate critically delayed projects to assist contractors' project cash flow, as well as to achieve that win-win situation for all parties under Sarawak government contracts.
He said this at the launch of the seminar on the new initiative to enhance Sarawak construction industry at the Borneo Convention Centre, Kuching, on Wednesday. The following new incentive are advance payment for work contract, allowing up to 3 payments to be made without the contract documents in the first 4 months of the contract period, lower rate of liquidated and ascertained damage imposed, lower minimum payment, as well as other measures to alleviate projects majorly and adversely affected by the price hikes, extensions of time EOT for projects with progress of at least 60% based on the works program, and mutual termination subject to prevailing criteria imposed.
It is my most fervent hope that this new initiative will be able to sustain the local build industry and be in a better position to face the future challenges.
Police Borneo Sdn Bhd Chief Executive Officer Mona Manap urged other airlines to seize the opportunity in stepping in to provide direct flights between Kuching and Penang. This was following AirAsia's suspension of its direct flights between the 2 destinations. She noted that the suspension would impact on towards tourism and business events industry, looking into the limited number of direct flights to Kuching. However, this can be overcome if other airlines are considering offering their services to this route as demands are high.
At the same time, on the other hand, I think this could be a strategic move as well to allow my airlines, our own boutique airline, to actually pick up the slack and fill in the gaps for the flights that we need. If it isn't, then they should actually take this opportunity to fill in the gaps for us Sarawakians to have more connectivity, well, at least within Malaysia. This would help us in tourism a lot.
Commenting further, she pointed out the reduce in direct flights would have its significant effect to both tourism and business events sectors in Sarawak.
Well, it's a big blow for the tourism industry and for the business events industry, especially because Kuching has very few direct flights, as it is. And I mean, Kota Kinabalu and also in KK, AirAsia does not fly Penang KK direct anymore. We do have Firefly, and this is probably a business decision by AirAsia. We don't know if it's the responsibility of the tourism board to actually make sure that we have enough load, and that applied to a string of international or direct flights that were announced and then cancelled. But whatever it is, it will be a big blow to us in Kuching because we have very few flights as it is, and this is cutting off another one. And Penang is quite a big hub in terms of regional airlines, direct airlines.
On Tuesday, Minister of Transport Sarawak, Dr. Sri Lee Kim Shin, in a statement acknowledged that the decision is made due to operational issues, according to AirAsia Berhad's management, with half of their aircraft still scheduled for maintenance. Customers who have booked a flight in advance will be informed and compensated via flight replacements, which can be managed via an email provided to affected customers. Besides flying to Penang with a stopover in Kuala Lumpur, AirAsia provided 3 other service recovery options, which are a change of flights, credit account or refund. Currently, the low-cost airline has 9 daily flights between Kuching and Kuala Lumpur and 7 between Kuala Lumpur and Penang. On to the next highlight. The Sarawak government has set aside an allocation of 2.5 million ringgit to subsidies on preschool fees in efforts to achieve 100% of children having access to early education. Deputy Minister in the Sarawak Premier's Department of Legal, MA63 and State Federal Relations, Datuk Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali said that the initiative can reduce parents' financial burden.
Sebagai kerajaan negeri Sarawak yang prihatin terhadap kebajikan kanak-kanak, Kerajaan Sarawak telah melalui Kementerian Kebajikan Kesejahteraan Komuniti Wanita Keluarga dan Pembangunan Kanak-kanak telah memperuntukkan sebanyak 25 juta ringgit untuk tujuan yuran tadika dan taska di negeri ini, untuk yuran. Inisiatif adalah untuk membantu meringankan bebanan ibu bapa untuk memastikan anak-anak kita mendapat pendidikan awal yang berkualiti.
Hasidah also disclosed that the government also allocates an annual fund of 5,000 ringgit for each kindergarten and nursery of the Community Development Division, Kemas Sarawak, through a special annual grant, GTK.
Seperti yang sudah dimaklumi juga, mungkin Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak telah memperuntukkan 5,000 setahun untuk setiap institusi tabika dan taska kemas di negeri Sarawak di bawah geran tahunan khas GTK. Ini memang ada kan, 5,000 setahun. Geran ini kita telah beri sejak tahun 2019. Tujuan geran tahunan khas ini disalurkan adalah untuk pembelajaran yang menyeronokkan, untuk lebih dapat memberi banyak program yang lebih menyeronokkan kepada anak-anak kita, untuk guru-guru membeli alat-alat bantu mengajar untuk anak-anak di tadika ini. Jadi geran ini diberikan. Geran khas ini juga untuk profesional guru-guru juga dan diberi.
She said this when speaking at the appreciation ceremony of Tabika Kemas Parliament Stage P194 Petrajaya at Pending Convention Centre PCC Demak on Wednesday.
Welcome back. Malaysia will channel over $2 million, equivalent to over 8.6 million ringgit, to Turkey and Syria to help the victims of the strong earthquake that struck the two countries early Monday. Prime Minister Dr. Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the cabinet has agreed to Malaysia government donating $1 million for the purpose, while the other $1 million would come from the Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Al-Mahum Sultan Iskandar.
At the same time, he said the Federal Territories Islamic Religious Council had allocated 10 million ringgit in humanitarian aid, mostly to also be channeled to Turkey and Syria. The strong 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit southern Turkey and northern Syria early Monday morning, bringing down buildings and killing thousands of people in the two countries. The tremors were reported to have been felt in Cyprus and Lebanon. Meanwhile, Anwar said Malaysia would also deploy its second Special Malaysia Disaster Assistance and Rescue Team, SMART, to Turkey tonight to join in the search and rescue operations there. The team under the National Disaster Management Agency's NADMA purview will comprise 70 members of SMART and the Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department.
White helmets rescuers cheered "God is the greatest" in Jindiris, Syria, as they pulled a young girl out alive from the rubble of a collapsed building on Tuesday, February 7.
Noor's face was covered with dust and her body was buried in debris up to the chest, but rescuers told she was not badly injured. A rescuer dug through the debris with gloved hand until he and a few others were able to carry the child out. Overwhelmed rescuers struggled to save people trapped under the rubble as death toll from a devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria rose past 5,000 on Tuesday, with despair mounting and the scale of the disaster hampering relief efforts. In Syria, the death toll stands at just over 1,600, according to the government and rescue service in the insurgent health northwest. The magnitude 7.8 quake, Turkey's deadliest since 1999, hit early on Monday, toppling thousands of buildings, including many apartment blocks, wrecking hospitals, and leaving thousands of people injured or homeless in Turkish and Syrian cities.
And that's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Shal Shamato. Thank you for watching.